Okay, everybody, please type in and let me know if you can see the mind map. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. All right, so guys, I've been getting some emails recently. I've been emailing you guys about this for months, ever since Google let us know that Google Reader was going to go away. First, um, why did Google Reader go away? And the answer is because um, every so often, Google takes away one of its products and retires them. They've retired things in the past, such as Google Videos. This was before Google owned YouTube, and then somebody pointed out to them that you have uh, if you own YouTube, you don't need Google Videos. So they took away Google Videos. And of course, they gave people time to remove their stuff from Google Videos. And, stuff is. Um, 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 Stuff is taken away all the time. It was a surprise that Google Reader was taken away because it was really widely used. It was widely used by people in news media so they could track stories combined with Google Alerts. It let people stay on top of things. It let companies know what people were saying about them. It was actually a huge thing. And the fact that it was taken away um, came as a really big surprise. So, they've done it. No real logical reason to it. I haven't heard anybody offer an idea of why. It wasn't exactly like it's costing Google a fortune to run it. It was an autopilot. Why they shut it down? No idea. So let's talk about what you can do to get information instead. Now, when I've taught blog curation 2 times, when I taught blog curation the first time, right away I showed people how to use the software. But the second time I went through, I didn't show people how to use the software because I didn't want people to think that the software was a crutch. In fact, I taught curation without using the software at all. Now, this software is probably about 3 years old. I've revised it a number of times. And as soon as you may recall, as soon as Google let us know that Google Reader was going to shut down, I had no idea what was going to happen with the software. Would it work because the data was in it for before, or would it stop working? And we discovered that this my software, as well as a lot of software out there, a lot of commercial software, big companies, everything just stopped working because of Google's decision. So, what can we do about it? Well, the first thing that I want to say is if you've been following me at any for any period of time, if you've been involved in curation, you know that originally we pretty much talked about one or two or even three kinds of curation. One, curation where we took a lot of time to get the curation right. We called that high impact curation. That's when we cared about the keyword in the headline. We cared about the keyword in the intro and the outro and introducing the curated section. We also talked about putting the keyword in um, the caption as well. But over time, Google changed and also curation changed, and we updated itself. If you go ahead and you look at the Dogington Post, I don't think you'll see even a single example of high impact curation. Instead, you'll see that we are using methodologies that I taught in the webinar called 14 curation models. Those 14 curation models are very, very powerful. And those 14 curation models should be what you are using today, not just one curation model. If you are using just one curation model, you are seriously missing out. There's a lot more than that one model, and I hope that you are um, uh, I hope that you are um, really not just looking at one form. That would be bad curation. The other thing is that over time, Google has really become sensitive to what we would call the high impact curation method. And the high impact curation method is not something that we use anymore because Google would think that there's just too much overuse of the keyword. So it's not something that we do these days, and we've changed. So what do you do about Google Reader? What do you do about the fact that the software doesn't work? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a series of apps that you can use that um, that I personally use, and go through them and talk about them. Then we're going to talk about computer apps, and then we're going to hear about from a friend of mine. We're going to hear about a solution that might just beat all of these. Okay, now when I go through the apps, I will indicate which ones are free and which ones cost money. Most of these are free, and the ones that aren't free are cost like $2 or $3. So the number one app that I like is Zeit. Zeit is available for the iPad. It's available for the Kindle Fire. Most likely, it's available for the Android as well. Zeit lets you choose topics. So, for example, I have the topic of yoga. I have the topic of meditation. I have the topic of dogs. I have the topic of dog training, etc. And I go through Zeit almost every morning. And if I see an article that I really like in Zeit, I either mail it to myself for curation or I mail it to one of my outsourcers. Zeit is owned by CNN. It's free, it's wonderful, and you should be using Zeit. But Zeit is only available for tablets at the current time. Then there's software that was one of the first tools for the iPad that was so good, it was so amazing that people recommended that you go out and buy an iPad just to get this software. And this software is called Flipboard. If you did not have an iPad, Flipboard just might be enough of a reason for you to go out and buy an iPad. It is amazing software, truly excellent, and you can hook into like major magazines in your niche. And I guarantee you that if you get onto Flipboard, you will have, again, any of these, Zeit, Flipboard, you will have more information that you could um, um, that you could have than you could ever possibly need. Okay, Feedly. Now, Feedly is one that you want to put a big star around. Okay, Feedly you want to put a big star around because and let me point out something to you that Flipboard lets you import all of your old Google Reader settings. So you can get all of your stuff that you used to get before right into Flipboard. Feedly lets you log in and to your log in with your old Google Reader settings, and it lets you pull it in. It's really a beautiful app. Now you see down here that Feedly also exists for the computer. In particular, there is a Feedly app for Chrome, and there's a Feedly app for Firefox. You want to get these going as soon as possible because Google is holding your data for one more day. Meaning, if you don't set up Feedly today or tomorrow, I don't know that it's going to be available for you. The data is going to be available and you're going to have to recreate it. Feedly is an awesome app. It pulls in information and you can share it with your outsources. You can copy and paste from Feedly into your WordPress. Really good stuff. Feedly. Uh, I give it, out of a scale of 10 stars, I give it a 25. Okay. Now we've taught previously about Scoop It. Scoop It is not just a way of staying up on information with your niche. Scoop It lets you actually post to your blog, and it also lets you post information directly to your Facebook page. Scoop It is there is a free um, offer, but there's also paid offers. I was using the paid offer for a while. Every day, Scoop It notifies you as to new news in your niche. It finds everything based on what you tell it to find. It finds videos on YouTube. It finds stuff, new stuff, old stuff, good stuff. Now, Read It is put out by Scoop It. This Scoop It exists both for the iPad and it also exists on the computer. But Read It only exists on the Read It only exists on the iPad. It is probably the most beautiful of the readers. Really gorgeous. Can do amazing stuff with it. You will have all the information that you need to curate. Mr. Reader. Mr. Reader works with Google Reader. It will pull your information in. The thing that I like about Google Reader, I'm sorry, about Mr. Reader, is that it syncs with other devices and you're always up to date on what you've looked at. You're not going to look at the same information twice. Very convenient to use. Mr. Reader will even pull in information from Feedly if you want. Now, here's one that I understand Pulse was just bought for a lot of money. I hope they fix it up because it is by far the ugliest of the apps. Not at all visually appealing. It does find lots of information for you in a magazine format, but certainly compared to some of the others, it is the least desirable. All of these work today. Some of them have gone out of business, but these work. Computer apps, Feedly, which you can get for Chrome or Firefox, Scoop It, and one more that's at least available for the Mac, which is called ReadKit. ReadKit, I think, sells for $5, lets you get information. And again, if you're working on a Mac, you can just copy and paste from the app from ReadKit right into your WordPress. It makes curation fairly simple. These are all things that you can do that will replace Google Reader right now, and you won't miss anything. Any questions on any of these right now? Okay, and someone said Zeit does work for Android. And for those of you only PC desktops, going to be left out? No, not at all, because Feedly is available for Chrome or Firefox. It doesn't matter what platform you are on. Other questions so far? Okay, there being no questions, I'm going to introduce someone who got started with blog curation and then invented some amazing software. So let's make Hugh Hitchcock the presenter and let's see what he's going to show us. Hugh, we're making you the presenter and show your screen whenever you like and say hi.
Hi there.
Okay,
All right. Hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for having me on, Harlan, Dr. Kilstein. I really appreciate it. I first got started with Dr. Kilstein about a year and a half ago when I joined the blog curation because I was trying to get some traffic for one of my websites. I saw music services and stuff. And I'm also a programmer, just so you'll see. This is my card when I worked at Microsoft. So I have some street cred when it comes to programming, as well as some other stuff that I do. But when I got involved with the blog curation with Dr. Kilstein, basically to get traffic for my other websites, I started checking out the whole curation thing, and I saw the software. And being a programmer, just kind of got these ideas that I could build something that would be really cool. So I released my first program a little over a year ago. You guys might have heard of the Instant Content Curator Pro, and a lot of people really like this for curation, and it worked with Google feeds, Google alert feeds. Now, it really, it's too bad that the feeds got turned off, and I don't really know either why they did, but my theory is that what happened was there's so many people curating and using tools like mine and other tools out there, and they were just basically uh, sucking down all this content from Google Alerts feeds and then curating that. So Google just sort of made the decision like, hey, you know what? We don't want to be re-indexing all of our same stuff that we already have indexed with people out there curating it. We want you marketers to bring us new stuff that we can index so that we can be a richer and better app. So that's my theory.
Now, that's actually a pretty interesting thing because when Google sees that one of its resources is overused, they like to punish the people who did it. So, for example, um, what was the really good software that everybody used for keyword out of Australia? Um,
So Market Samurai?
Market Samurai. Didn't they get screwed over by Google?
Well, they're still running.
Yeah, but they had a
I don't
period.
know the story on
They
that.
had a period of time when they had a period of time when they were basically shut down because there were so many what we'll call calls on Market Samurai. They were calling on it, so
Hmm.
Google was not very happy with them. But in any event, that's just my little trivia. Let's turn it over to you.
Sure, anytime. So what I did was I built another program here, ICC Express, which is basically the logical evolution of my previous programs, which I'll also show you. And I actually wrote it to work with Google Alerts and with another source that I'm also going to show you in a minute. What I wanted to do is keep all my software working with Google Alerts till the very last minute instead of, planning, because they really never said they were shutting down the feeds. I remember having a conversation with you, Dr. Kilstein, about 3 months ago, and it was like, well, they said they're shutting down the reader, but they didn't say they're shutting down the feeds. And we sort of concurred on that at the time, as I recall. And they never, ever did that until the day. And then when you look at the RSS feed, this is what you get in it.
Right, as I
And
recall that
then,
conversation, I said, "Okay, we're screwed," and you went, "No, Harlan, we're not screwed. They're just
okay,
shutting down Google Reader. Everything else will be going." And I said, "No, we're screwed." And then we left like we'll see. So,
uh-huh,
um,
okay.
as you can see, my cynicism was correct. Well,
Yeah. Well, you've been around this a while longer than me, or you're a little bit more savvy than I am with this stuff.
No,
But
I just
this
figured
is
that
actually what,
Google would take the opportunity to screw everybody over. So that
uh-huh.
that was my
I
theory.
guess I try to be more positive, but I'm definitely learning my lesson when it comes to Google. You know, and look at this, all subscription data will be permanently, irrevocably deleted. All Google Reader subscription data will be systematically deleted from Google servers. And that wasn't there, I don't think, until the day, was it July 5th or whatever, that they
Right.
first
Now go take a
started it.
look at it, and it says you have until 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And that means now in the email that I sent you guys, I said that Google does takeout, and you could go to google.com/takeout, and you could download your
Hmm.
data. Now, why would you want to download your data? Well, let's say that in your early days, you went ahead and you found some really cool RSS feeds that you've been using, and you've just taken it for granted and you don't remember where they are. Well, unless you download them by tomorrow, they are going to become a distant memory. So, right after this
Right.
call, you want to go to google.com takeout with your appropriate login, the same one you use for Google Reader, and download those feeds. Or by tomorrow, 12 noon Pacific, you are going to be crying mama.
Yeah, basically you need to get the address of those feeds so you can preserve them and consume them from another program or something.
Right.
And so there's a subtle difference here that even I'm just starting to see, which is there's a difference between actually Google Reader and Google Feeds, alerts, that is, because the alerts, they had them, hardwired into Google Reader, and then they said they were shutting down Google Reader, but they never said they shut down the feeds. They did shut down the feeds when they shut down Google Reader, but the alerts are still running on email. And I don't know how long they're going to keep that on. We'll see after tomorrow if that actually goes away
I
too.
think that alerts are going to go soon, but they didn't announce that. So alerts will be around
Mhm.
for a while, but it's going to go.
Alerts are here, but alerts feeds are gone, as I showed you. There's no RSS. It's only delivered to email. Even here, if you click on this, which takes you to the feed, it shows you that image that I showed you before, that which shows you Google Alerts no longer supports RSS delivery. So if you do your Google takeout and you're expecting to get your alerts feeds, you are not going to get them. Okay, you will get RSS feeds that you've saved in Google Reader. Okay, because you're consuming a lot of RSS feeds in Google Reader, subscriptions to other sites. But as far as these keyword alerts here, these are going to just they're going to stay in email or they're going to just go away. And you can't even get them from Google Takeout. And if you can, let me know because I can't do it. I don't think anybody can. I just tried it again today, and it was the only thing that it imported into Feedly was some RSS feed from a blog that I was subscribed to. What you can do here is you can export alerts right like this, and then you get a CSV file of just the keywords. And you may want to do that, especially when you see what some of the things that my software does.
Okay, can you show them
For
how to do
example,
can you show them how to do that, what you just did?
sure,
Just like a
to
little
export the
slow.
keywords,
Yeah, show them what
sure.
to do.
You go to your google.com/alerts, you log in, and then you click on the manage. So you get your list here, and you scroll down to the bottom, and there's a button here that says export alerts. And when you click that, it exports a CSV file. And I'll just go ahead and open that so you can see what it looks like. Um, so there you've got all your information about your alerts, feeds. Okay, so you may want to do that because these keywords might be important to you, and then you can use them in other situations. Now, my software will import a flat file of keywords. For example, just real quick, because I want to do a comprehensive, I don't want to take too long, but I just want to show you that you can, click on the profile and then import keywords like this, and they get imported and attached to the profile. Now, this is jumping ahead a few a few steps, so I just wanted to tie this together because what I have done, folks, is I started with Dr. Kilstein learning how to curate my blog so that I could sell more services on my music website. And I did pretty well with that, and I made some mistakes and all that, but I actually started another curated blog here that uh, I followed Dr. Kilstein's principles pretty much to the letter, and I think I'm talking about the high impact curation that you discussed before. And if you could see, I was really strict about following all the rules, and I started here about a year ago, and right about here is when I started. I did a launch with my Viral Video Curator Pro, so I was like trying to prove that it worked, and so that's when I got this little thing. And now here in April of 2013, I basically created a new technique, okay, and it had to do, I don't know, people are calling this siloing or whatever. I don't know because I've seen about 10 different definitions of siloing, but I created my own technique. It involves, oh, it's not that. It involves, first getting the keywords, designing your categories, setting up your menus, and then curating your content into those keyword channels. And I showed you kind of one part of how the keywords go into my program. But right here in April 2013, I did a complete change on this blog, and I set up with basically my theory, and I borrowed some ideas from some other people, but I created a system, and it just blew up my traffic. Now this last one here is this month, and we're not even halfway through this month, and so we're far more than halfway up to last month, so it just keeps going up. I'm actually hoping to get Dr. Kilstein to work with me a little bit on this, and so we can really blow it up even more. But the point is that once I got to this point, I really had my technical thing down, and I built it into my software. Okay, everything that was done on all of this website, and I'll show you the website, was all done with my software, which is just basically just curating along the style that Dr. Kilstein teaches. I have not monetized the site yet. I wanted to get the traffic to a certain level and then see what I can do with the monetization. But the point is that the software, it's not going down. Someone's asked me why it's going down. It's not going down. This is July. This last one here is this month, which does not finish for another 17 days, okay? This right here has 17 days more to go before it closes. Do you make sense there, Renee? Okay, so it's actually going up. It's more, no, it doesn't make sense. Well, this is monthly, okay? This is the month of February, this is the month of March, the month of April, May, June, and July. And we're only on July 14th. July's not finished yet. Okay, now does it make sense? Hey, I may be going a little bit faster, but I hope everybody kind of gets it. And so the point is, it's more than half of last month, Ed, that's right. And this thing is just blowing up. And really, all I did was use these programs that I have. And now I wanted to show you what we've got here. There's something called TalkWalker that we can use actually as a replacement for Google Alerts. TalkWalker is in fact almost exactly like Google Alerts, except they have a lot more results than Google Alerts. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and log in and show you. I've set up a nice set of alerts on this particular account, and this matches with my mixing and mastering. So what I can do here is I've already got all the same keywords into the program, and I actually already have perfected code which will now create your alerts for you, so you won't even have to do that. Plus, I have a keyword tool here that I'm rolling out that works with Google Keyword Tool. Now we know that there's going to be some shenanigans with that coming up too, right? So just don't worry, because I'm on the case the same way that I found replacements for Google Alerts. I'll also be working with the keyword planner and all that stuff. We will keep this. So the idea is we're going to be integrating the keyword selection. And what I did to get this amazing spike of traffic, it's not really a spike, it's for real, it's here to stay. What I did is basically some very intense keyword research that I have been able to put into a programming algorithm, which will be implemented into my keyword tool, which will then integrate with my content curation software and your blog. So if you could take a look at how I've set up this blog here and how I've set up my keywords, this is really the key here. So what we've done is we've created a system that more or less automates the entire process from start to finish. If you know me at all, you probably know me for what I call my hands-on curation tools, and that's what these are. So the hands-on curation tools are really only just one piece of the puzzle of my entire system, which I'm offering, of course. So let's take a look at how this works. So if we wanted to get some curated content, I have it set up here so that, okay, if you look down here, it's initiating a login to TalkWalker. So it might take a second to actually log in and get all my feeds. So now all my feeds have been downloaded. Once I select a feed, the news icon becomes active, and I have a bunch of news to curate. Oh, there's a good one. Dog poop is a growing business. So we also have several templates of curating here. If you wanted to curate this article, clicking the blank one or the line item just gives you basically a plain curation without any sort of templating, but it does give the attribution and more or less gives credit and the headline in an H2. So you can do your curation here and do your curation after. We also have a couple of other templating options. So if you wanted to click the blue T, that's funny, Ed. Then you have this basically whole marked up curation template here, which I think, Harlan, it comes pretty close to your high impact curation thing. You said you're not using that anymore, but it's pretty much what I use to get my traffic on that website. So it's sort of, openness you would want to, but you've got your keyword in bold here. You've got all your attributions. You've got other options. So you just want to mark this up for yourself, or just now the original templating that we had before was, for example, place your opening curation after this and delete this text, place your closing curation after. So, whichever one you want to use, you can use all of those. And then we also have an image browser where you can get royalty-free images. You've got all your keywords in the list. I'm supposed to anyway. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't import my keywords for this. So let me go back and import my keywords for this topic. I was going to show you that. So we click on the profile. There really aren't any cat keywords in here yet. So I'm going to go ahead and import my cat keywords. And you can see down here it's importing them. Just a second. The idea is that we research our keywords the way I did before I got that huge uplift in traffic, and we take that keyword list and we implement that throughout the entire system, ultimately ending up with very easy channels of content to your curated blogs. So now I've got all these cat keywords in here, and they're associated with this profile. So if I go back to Curate now, so I want to put an image here, I open the image, and I've got all my cat keywords right here, so I can search from them quite fast and get images. We also have templating to insert the images or without, and you can save the image to disk. You can also research the image by clicking on the question mark to open the page where the image is, so you can see if there's just make sure you're covering yourself in case of there's copyright issues or whatever. I always like to encourage people to do their own research at least a little bit, so you know what you're doing. You don't just put stuff out there and don't know. Now we also have, so if you want to put the images right, you would pick an image, and then you can, if you want to put the image without any sort of formatting, you just click the blank one. And so now I have that image in my post. I'm going to open this up a little bit. Or I can put it in with templating, and that means it's even going to actually generate a title for me. We already have a title here based on the article that we chose before, but if I wanted to click the blue T in the image, then I've got basically a whole section with the image plus the keyword and the title and all that. I also, I encourage you to mark the stuff up your own way, put in your own your own content, your own value added. Got a question here, a couple questions. Malcolm is saying that I'm doing a random presentation of feature sets, and I do apologize for that. It is kind of a lot to go over, but I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. Misty is saying that she's confused about Harlan's BMTA and how it works with or is replaced by this new software. Harlan, my understanding is that your software is not functioning now because of Google Alerts being shut down.
That is correct. The software is no longer functioning, and therefore you can use one of the options that I talked about at the beginning, or you could pay attention to what Hugh is sharing now, and you might find it a better choice for you.
Okay, so I had chosen cat toys as the keyword. Cat toys is my category in my blog. It's already selected. We've got cat toys, nicely sprinkled throughout the curated content. And I've put in something. I would obviously take more time to add value to my post, but I'm doing this as just a demonstration right now, so I'm just sort of going through it quickly. And then if I were done with the post, I could just click post, and we have a plugin that integrates with your blog so that it syncs up the post time. Because if you're running a desktop application and syncing, trying to post to a blog, you can get time sync issues between your computer's time and the server time. So anyway, not to belabor that point, we'll go ahead and do the post. And now we'll check out the post, and this is on a test blog, but I've set it up the same way. So you can see I've got the traffic channel. So this is going through cat toys. So if I click on cat toys, that article would come up at the top. Also, when you go click home, I haven't really put a lot of content on this particular site. It's just a test site. But this is the way the system works, and there's nothing found, so I haven't put anything on that one yet. If I go to the mixing and mastering site, you can sort of see I've done the same thing here. And I haven't even filled out content on all the categories yet. I have not done any backlinking to this. I've only done one original article on this, and the traffic just continues to go up and up. So I definitely think that we've got the technical system down to make this work. What we don't have is Harlan's savvy, when it comes to the marketing and all that stuff. And I'm definitely in awe of Harlan's talents in that area. So I'm a technical guy, so that's what I do is I write software. So this is all generated the same way I just showed you with my software. And I have other tools as well that go along with them, including this Viral Image Curator Pro that has some really amazing stuff. It does the same thing. It posts to your blog. It can create blog posts based on royalty-free images. But it also has Facebook and Twitter posting capabilities, as well as this PDF thing that I built in. So you can actually create a post with this image and stick it right on a Scribd account for SEO. It's pretty cool. You can also manage your images in your blog's image library. And that's not a real blog, so it's not going to show up. We've got Viral Video Curator Pro as well. All these things are basically included in my particular offering because it's all part of a system. Now let me just show you. We have a Facebook group here, and I just wanted to show you what one of my esteemed members said today, which is because I had offered this for $27, and at the end of this, I want to make you an offer that's better than that. Okay, but Troy says, this is the best membership for $27. Unlimited use for all Hughes software and all the extras. Unbelievable. It's ruined me on evaluating other memberships as I now hold everyone to a higher standard. And the biggest bonus is that it's from a programmer's viewpoint. So, I'm kind of pretty down to earth. I analyze things. Back to the random feature set. You can also save drafts here of your posts and open them later. Clear it. I haven't showed you the video browser that we have built into ICC Express yet. So when you're doing your curation, you can also curate videos all based on the keywords that we started out with. So let's say we wanted to do a post on cat health. And we'll do it with this video. So I'm just going to pick the templating here and click the blue one. So now I've got this video embed. It doesn't show up as a video because this is a Flash or Adobe Air program, and it's not showing the video here. However, you can research that video by clicking the question mark. And that opens you to the YouTube page. So you can research that, view the video, think of something intelligent to say about it. We've already got a title generated, and you can change it up. You've got your keywords, high impact curation. I want to get together with Harlan and see if there's any way I can automate a different kind of curation that's good too. But this works, it works great. In fact, this is almost all you need right now to to basically get traffic. Everyone's saying that. So the funniest thing is Google loves YouTube videos. So if you go ahead and just curate them and say a few interesting things about it, get one that's specifically about the keyword that you're posting, write something about the keyword, and so on. I think it's that standard high impact curation technique that Harlan was teaching before, and it definitely still works. So I could go ahead and post this just for the heck of it. I'm not going to say write something here. I would definitely mark that up and write something intelligent. I'm not going to take a lot of time today. I'll just say this. You would put something after it probably. Go ahead and post it, and just to see what it looks like. This particular blog is not very pretty because it's just a test blog. I don't want to do any real tests on my real blog right now because I'm just doing this too fast to do a good job, but this is the result that you get. And then you've got your YouTube video, you've got your caption, you've got I don't really do an attribution for videos. I don't think that's really necessary. You should do that for like Flickr images. If you take a look at my mixing and mastering website, you'll see how the how the curated posts really come out looking. I don't really say that much. I just say, like a lot of musicians, producers are using the keyword, what do you think, blah, blah, blah. And I'm number one on Google for many of these keywords. So it definitely works. But the thing is, I did the research on the keywords first. So if you did become a part of my membership, we have that training inside the member site about how to choose the keywords and set them up, so that then you can just basically channel your curated content directly to those channels that you set up. And you learn how to set that up in our membership. And then you can use the tools to make your posts. The more time you put into it, of course, the nicer they become, but it doesn't really have to be a big deal to get traffic. So if you do join my membership, what you're going to get is ICC Express unlimited licensing, so you can manage as many blogs as you want to. You can. I didn't show you also you can add RSS feeds as many as you want to. Like what if I wanted to do dogingtonpost.com/feed, and then I go parse. So now I've got all the stories here from the Dogington Post. If I wanted to go, for the heck of it, just look at one, I can just click View Selected Story, and I can go over there and see that story. And then I can just add that. So we now have that feed that we can curate from in the Curate screen. You can also go over here and click their different profiles and attach the feed to the profile, so that one will come up. We go to curate, select the profile, and then we've got the Doggington Post feed right here. And I wanted to curate Paula Deen's peanut butter dog biscuit recipe, y'all. I could do that. So basically, we just add in all the feeds that we want. It could be as many websites you want. You can also curate regular HTML pages. For example, let's say I wanted to curate, let's see if that's connected to mixing and mastering. So I go to curate and I select the mixing and mastering profile. And then I can select RSS feeds, and that feed that I've connected now comes up with news. Oops, that's an old one. Let it take the time to load, and there it is. So now I can clear this. I could, curate that. So you can really curate whatever you want. You can aggregate all the feeds that you could possibly want into the software, and then you have all these tools. We will make a parallel between the original keyword selection, the categories on your blog, the keyword searches on YouTube and images, and your alerts feeds that we programmed in. So the idea is to synchronize all of those into a keyword curated content stream that we then beam it directly to that infrastructure that we already set up. Okay, and the setup is what happened right here in April. I made that setup, and then I started just beaming curated content to it, and it just makes everything blow up. Okay, so what I want to do is make this available to Harlan students. And basically what I have been doing, the retail price for this, okay, is $47 a month. Get my calculator, where did it go? So, we have some people paying $47 a month, and that comes out to $564 a year. We have been offering some specials lately at $27 a month, and we have a lot of very happy people signing up for $27 a month. Of course, that comes out to $324 a year. What I'm offering right now is a yearly membership at just $249 a year, which basically comes out to about 20 bucks a month. Okay, so if you're interested, I would love to have you come on. Let me show you the exact URL to go to is http://iccexpress.net/Harlan. Awesome. Now, I'm seeing some questions come in, and I don't want to name.
Let me. I want to jump in and say something here.
Sure, sure.
It's actually been pretty funny. The response that I've gotten is that there are a couple of people saying, "Hey, Harlan, your whole course was about BMTA. Now that it's not working, you should give us our money back." Now, I always respond to the people by saying, "You know what? Show me your blog. Show me how you've been using BMTA." And typically, these are people who bought the software bought the program 2 or 3 years ago and never went through it. I've asked every single person, please show me your blog. And they always say, oh, well, I'm just starting it now. Yeah, I believe you. And the issue is that I never sold a software program. I sold a curation course. The curation course is still um, is still valid. The curation course still works. And as a matter of fact, the second time that I taught the course, I didn't even um, I didn't even use the tool. I recommended doing your curation without the tool. So, guys, the tool is an option. There are free options that you can use, or there is Hugh's option, um, which just may be better because it does a lot more than my software ever did. Um, if that interests in you, you want to jump on this at the special saving that he has arranged for you. If it doesn't interest you, then use one of the free tools and continue curating. But curating works. Under no
Mm-hmm.
circumstances is the course um, not valid. The tool, which was a bonus, after 3 to 4 years, Google changed the rules in the middle of the game. And quite frankly, with other software, if I revised BMTA to work, it still wouldn't come up to the level of Hugh's program. So it'd kind of be a waste of time and effort to bring you an inadequate solution when there is better stuff out there. Back to you, Hugh.
Yeah. Um, I signed up with Harlan's program about a year and a half ago, and I checked out BMTA, and basically what it was is just it's a program that consumed Google Alerts. Just like ICC Pro was kind of my answer to that, and I was saying, no, I can do something really cool like that too. And Harlan is the undisputed expert of curation, and I've learned so much from him. I never use BMTA for curating. I don't mean to put it down or anything. I'm just trying to say that it's not like, as far as Harlan's courses and stuff, that's not where the value was in Harlan's stuff. Harlan teaches you how to make a real website. So, when I actually got involved with Harlan, is he inspired me to do my stuff. I would never have this stuff if it weren't for Harlan. So I appreciate him giving me the opportunity to do this. Guys, I'm going to make a confession to you. This is the very first time I've ever done this kind of thing, where I've gone on somebody else's webinar and more or less, show my wares, my softwares. And so excuse me if I seem a little nervous or whatever, or if I'm going through random features. Yeah, I didn't sleep very well last night because I was really excited about this. So um, the thing that I also wanted to get across to you guys about my offering is that, again, it's not just about one piece of software. And that's why some people are asking me, well, how does this compare to certain other offers that are going around right now? you know and I definitely feel that what I have to offer has so much more substance than what's out there, even though that's why I'm not focusing so much on this software is a cure-all to everything, because it isn't. It's the system, and the point is that I am the programmer. Thanks, Malcolm. Malcolm says I'm a very good teacher and trainer, and thanks. I think that's true, and that's the kind of feedback that I get back. And part of your membership is a weekly webinar where I will go through this stuff. I'll answer all your questions. Last week I went through the whole thing about how to set up the infrastructure to get that traffic gushing in. People just loved that webinar. It didn't really have that much to do with the software at all. But the thing is, once you come on board with me, you've got all of that. You've got me to lean on, and you've got all of my software. I've got 4 tools that I've showed you. I've got Instant Content Curator Pro, Viral Image Curator Pro, Viral Video Curator Pro, Instant Content Curator Express. And just to show you, I've already started this keyword tool. I mean, I'm well into it. This will be interfacing to the whole beginning of the whole thing that I told you about. This is where we really find we get our foot in the door first is by figuring out the keywords, and there's a formula for that. Once you get those keywords, then you implement them on your blog and you start channeling those traffic channels to those channels on your blog.
Now,
So we've got
guys,
the keyword tool
let me.
coming. We've got the siloing plugin that's coming out, and it's just going to be a complete awesome system.
So
Yes, I'm sorry, Harlan.
you guys are getting a lot more than there ever was in BMTA, including video, keyword search, use of photos, etc., which was never part of BMTA because when you take a programmer and they see what you're doing, they naturally want to improve it, and that's exactly what Hugh did. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
potential of curation is what we're seeing right now with the Doggington Post. Sometime tomorrow, we will go over 1 million page views for the month.
Yeah,
1
baby.
million page views. Okay.
I'm
Now,
telling you, man, that is so awesome, Harlan.
we
I'm
are
tripping out on that.
we are at
Works with a Mac, yes.
yeah, okay. So guys, this is incredible stuff. Um, this is incredible stuff, the use of curation. It gets you traffic, and all you have to do is follow the system. Follow the system, and you will get results. But please don't come to me after you've been there for 2 years and you haven't gone through any of the webinars, you haven't gone through anything, and say, "Oh no, my software doesn't work. What am I going to do?" Um, those 1 million views, the 1 million page views were gotten without a single use of the software. So, guys, wake up. If you
Mm-hmm.
want software,
Mm-hmm.
here it is. If you don't want software, use the options I showed you at the beginning. But curation works, works, works. You give me a niche and let me curate, and I'll beat the pants off anybody in the niche.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm really just so thrilled to be working with Dr. Kilstein in any way at all. And
Now,
I'm
if
really sincere about that.
now people are asking about Bill Me Later. Bill Me Later should show up when you um, go into PayPal. It should be one of the choices that you have, okay, which lets you pay it out for up. You don't have to make you don't have to make a payment. You could do it. You have 6 months to pay, so that may be available for you. Now, Hugh, could you give them an address to contact you? There are some people here who are asking
Mm-hmm.
they'd rather not save the money, but they'd rather do the monthly. Can you give them a support address where you could hook them up so that they could get the monthly?
I can actually make that happen right now if you want me to,
Okay, if they're
real
asking
quick.
for it, I believe in asking people, giving people what they like.
Okay. All I have to do is make one little tweak to a page and it will reveal the monthly. Here we go.
Okay, will BMTA members still have access to the site? There is nothing wrong with the site. The site is up, the information is valid. Go there, use it.
Okay. Just one moment.
See, when you have
Okay,
a
now,
programmer on the line, they can do changes on the fly, not like me.
yeah, I have to do that in the software sometime. If you guys, come along with me, you're gonna see I update the software all the time, and I take suggestions from people too. So, okay, so now if you go back to that URL that I gave you, iccexpress.net/Harlan and refresh it, you're going to see a monthly link. Let's see.
Okay, let's save it and update it and publish it and show it to them.
Mm-hmm. It's the same link as before, just, oops, I always misspell that. Terrible. Just terrible. Okay.
Okay, that's
It's ICC
HTTP.
Express. Yes, HTTP
I'm going to type it
colon
in.
slash slash ICC.
HTTP colon slash slash ICC express.net / Harlan. That's in the
Mm-hmm.
chat box now, and it's a clickable link, and we'll get you over there.
And if you're on the page, just refresh it, and you'll see down the bottom it says "Click here for monthly option,"
Right down on the
and you just
bottom
click
left-hand
that.
side.
Mm-hmm. And then um, it'll show up the form for that.
Okay.
Either one is cool.
All right. So, guys, any last questions for Hugh?
Yes, you can start monthly and upgrade to yearly. I'm going to permit that. You're going to have to hit me up personally though for that. Okay.
But they'll have plenty of
Awesome,
access.
Malcolm.
They'll have plenty of access to that, to you,
Mm-hmm.
both through
Mm-hmm.
support, through the webinars that you do, and in the Facebook group. And they get
That's
access to
right.
everything.
That's right. We have a pretty nice active Facebook group, and I'm always answering questions in there and stuff. This product, they're all Adobe Air, which means you just get Adobe Air and then you install this, and it's a desktop software, and it works on both PC and Mac. Okay, and that was M. McKinney. Um, Outsources. Well, you know what? I mean, you have an unlimited license as long as you're a member in good standing. And just to show you, um, I'm always programming new stuff, and if you can see this on your screen now, I've created this basically comprehensive screen that will show you all your licenses for all the products, so you can stay up with that, stay organized with the licenses that you have. We're not offering it $20 per month, Roy, but if you pick up the yearly option, which is $249, that's $20 per month. Okay. Otherwise, it's $27 per month. Well, we don't really know what's going on with Google Keyword Tool yet, Dennis, but we'll see. We'll keep our eyes and ears open, and there's always going to be some way to cook that omelet, got to break a few eggs here and there. You know what? I mean, I may even be able to resurrect our own version of Google Alerts. If they keep the email feeds running, we can just parse our own RSS feeds from emails, and we can create a program that'll do that, that'll just log into your email account and read the Google Alerts emails and put it into the program. And there's so many ways to solve these problems. We're just sort of dependent on these big companies and what they do, what decisions they make, And the Facebook group name, Malcolm, if you've already signed up, you should get a note. You should get all that information in your Nanocast console. We've got a pretty comprehensive listing of everything you get and how to access it. But if you guys want to join, that's fine. It's actually not a locked up group, so you can join if you want. It's groups/VIC Pro. Happy to have anybody in that wants to come in. Yeah, Google Wonder Wheel was another nice technology that got dumped, and I think you were using that quite a bit, weren't you, Harlan?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I was
hey,
looking for that when I first started the curation. It's like, hey, what up? Where is it? Yeah. because they just do whatever they want with this stuff. Especially when stuff starts working for people, that's when they shut it down, right?
Gotta love them. All
Gotta
right.
love them.
Any last questions? Do we remember the Google Wonder Wheel? Yeah, I remember that. We talked about that in the first time blog curation went around, and then they took that away. Um, absolutely. All right, guys.
I'm going to put my email address right here. This is where you reach support at instantcontentcurator.com.
And Hugh will take care of you. All right, guys.
Yes, sir.
The uh, Go ahead and
We'll try to hold it open for like 3 days, Joe, okay?
okay. So you want to get on this. Um, for those of you who are still hoping the Beatles are going to get back together, it's not going to happen. Google Reader is not coming back. Okay. So you need to do something. Use one of the options we talked about. All right, everybody. Thanks, Hugh, for jumping on this with me and making this available at a super price to my guys. Thanks, everybody, for taking
Thank
time
you,
out
huh?
on a Sunday. And
My pleasure.
keep curating because
Hmm.
curation works. Have a terrific day, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.